Welcome to another Transformers animated review. This time we're going to be looking at the Voyager class Shockwave figure. In the animated TV series, Shockwave is a spy for the Decepticons. His main persona is Shockwave as a Decepticon, but he is also known as Longarm when he is spying as a Autobot. We're going to be starting off with Shockwave's Aut mode because that's the way it was packaged. He is a H-style tank, which is what it's been nicknamed as. Why? Because if you look at it from the top like this, you can see it vaguely resembles the letter H. As of the end of Season 2, we have not seen what Shockwave's vehicle mode looks like in the TV show, but with the trend of how show accurate all these toys are, we can assume that this is fairly show accurate to what it will be like when we see it. It has 4 wheels, one on each limb here, which roll fairly easily, but these back legs are fairly loose, especially from side to side motion, and hasn't really given me any trouble yet with the wheels rolling, but it is possible because, as you can see like that, it can just push down and be pretty much just scraping on the plastic. These really have no problem with. The turret here the main gun can raise up and down, not straight up vertical but pretty close, and the turret itself can rotate all the way around 360 degrees. One thing that's could be a problem here, it's not a huge problem, but if we just take off the gun here, you can see that it just fits in the peg and hole. Even though it is pretty snug, it loosens up when you rotate around just once, and as you can see right there, unless you're keeping constant pressure down on that, it will eventually just pop off. Okay. It does it doesn't have a missile, but it does have a little indentation at the end of the gun where you could pretend that the missile would come out. And on top of the turret itself, or the gun cannon, it has a white painted on Decepticon symbol. Now, as we're back onto the cannon itself, it's not a straight circle or a square. It has a little angular, and it has 3 indentations on the front and back, but ones on the front are colored differently in the same fashion of Megatron's cannon from the same series. So not quite exactly shaped the same, but they look fairly similar. So I'm not sure if that was intentional or not to make them look closely related, but it kind of makes sense since the Shockwave's character is a Megatron loyalist. Now the transformation to the Autobot Longarm's vehicle mode is pretty simple. Just going to take the cannon, lift it up just so you can have enough room to pull this down, which pops out the crane arm, and we'll fold back these little cans here all the way, and then take the front treads here, pull them forward so that this part of the vehicle mode is parallel with the rest of the body. Do that with all of them. On the back ones, just flip up these little panels so they're flush with the rest. And there he has it. It's I actually really like this vehicle mode a lot better than Shockwave's, because this is very unique. We've never really seen a vehicle mode just quite like this. Very few, if any, actual cranes, but none Cybertronian with that are quad-paddled vehicle modes, which is in the same fashion of Ratchet and Ironhide's vehicle modes on Cybertron as featured in the first episode and on Auto Boot Camp. But yeah, this is very nice. The has the same problem. Well, can still rotate all the way around. Has still full range of motion, but it still loosens up just a little bit. And no real extension on the crane itself. This can go in a little bit, but not much. It would have been nice to have something to lower the hook down to pick up something, because it doesn't go all the way to the ground. But that's just being very nitpicky about this vehicle mode. And one other thing, that if you're putting a lot of pressure on this, it'll, especially on the back legs, it'll try to straighten themselves out. Because there's nothing, as with the Shockwave tank mode, there's nothing really securing these very tightly in place. But this is still my favorite of the all modes. It's very unique and has a lot more playability in it, in my opinion, than the tank mode. Now we're going to be transforming him into the Autobot Spy long arm first. For the transformation to either robot mode, you can leave the cannon / crane on, but really that just gets in the way and really doesn't look all too good, in my opinion, while keeping it on or while transforming. So I'm just gonna pop that off. You can just put it back on later. I'll do that. So we're left with this, and the transformation is pretty simple when you get around to it. If you look on the bottom here, you can already see the robot head and torso. Going to straighten out all the limbs like this, so you're kind of stuck back to the tank base. Going to take the legs here, which have a really kind of nifty spring action here. Once you extend it out, they lower it. It lowers, and once you go back into vehicle mode, it kind of pops back upward. And flip down these panels. Separate them. They are connected right here. Disconnect them and straighten them out. I'll give it a little bit of an angle here at this top joint just to give them some separation. Then folding out the feet, which are fairly tight in there. And you want to make sure you keep these gray pieces snapped in place here, just like that. Disconnect the arms here, which are connected to these tabs right there. And flip those tabs up. Then just straighten out the hands. Then we can take this section of the shoulder here, rotate it down in place so it doesn't look like he's squinching his head down, and then take this little panel here and fold it back like that, so it doesn't go any higher than his head. And if you want, you can stick the crane to the back here. And there he is, long arm in robot mode, and is also known as Long Arm Prime by the end of the episode Auto Boot Camp. Now, I really liked the long arm robot mode. I would have bought this figure just for Long Arm Prime himself. He has a surprising amount of detail on him. A little bit on the above the red orb on his forehead here, which is a little unnecessary, but it gives him more detail. And his eyes are, you can get a good look at him with that, because his forehead kind of casts a shadow on, but his eyes are a kind of metallic blue instead of having a translucent plastic, much of most Transformer toys do these days. And has a also very metallic-y looking Autobot symbol on his chest. It is silver instead of red, unlike all the other Elite Guard members. And the rest of them has a great amount of posability. It is a little bit of restricting in the forward and backward leg motion, which is really only possible with the Shockwave mode, but the rest of it, especially in the arms, do give him a lot of poses that you can present him in. He's not really described as being able to use his crane as a weapon, because he's really an intelligence officer, so it's really not appropriate. So he really doesn't have any weapons in this mode, which is a little bit disappointing. I would have liked the character and the toy to have some form of self-defense in this robot mode. But even if it didn't have the Shockwave robot or vehicle modes, I still would have bought this either way, even if they made it two separate toys, because this is a very impressive looking robot mode, and it fits very well in with the rest of the Autobots. There's only one real bad thing about this toy, which I feel really just takes away from the figure, is that because of the later transformation for this, he has absolutely no head articulation, which also really just adds to the effect of that he has no neck, and he's just kind of squinching his head down into his chest, which is kind of unattractive for him. But other than that, it's still a great looking robot mode. Now, if we get to the main persona for this character, Shockwave, well, before I do that, I'm going to compare him to another Voyager class figure from the anime line, Starscream. As you can see, they're pretty close in size. Long arm is a little bit shorter. If you get real close, you can see that the top of his head, of the long arm's head, goes to about his chin. So Starscream is taller in this form. But the really innovative feature of this toy is how they still incorporate Shockwave and long arm in the same toy. Now, the transformation is pretty simple getting to Shockwave, but it's still really fun. I'm going to start by just simply rotating the lower legs around, detaching the gray pieces here and sliding them all the way down, and taking this section here and flipping it as a kind of a upper leg protector armor. It's a little bit springy when you try to put it in. It doesn't secure all that well, but once you get it like that, it'll pretty much stay as it's up by itself. And the legs are done there. Now the arms, take the forearms, pull them and extend them. Turn them this way so that these white pieces are facing outward. And take the hands here and just rotate them a little bit so that the palm of the hand is now facing outward. And these will become part of the new hands. Now, real quickly, I just want to talk about this because on mine particularly, these are very tight, especially if I move them like that. It takes a little bit for me to pull or twist this round for this to follow. And this makes me nervous because I'm pretty sure that eventually that's just going to make it snap in half because of how stiff it is. So something to be cautious about there. Now to finish off the hands, just take these white pieces here, extend them out, and that gives them a whole lot of posability of hands. Can give them very sinister looking, very insect almost. Do that with the other one. And then go up here to the upper arm and take these sections here and rotate them around to reveal these red parts here, which really just have no purpose. They're just pretty much cosmetic. And then take the shoulder back up to the way it was in vehicle mode, and go to the Autobot symbol here and rotate it around till you see the golden Decepticon symbol. Go back up to the head, rotate these antlers up, pull the head up and forward till you see the face will rotate around to just make it all black. And there he is. There's Shockwave in robot mode, which is very cool looking, which is the only way I can really describe him. This is everything I really hoped for this toy. He has twice as much articulation, which now has the forward and back motion. He can look every which way he can with his very posable neck here in the head, and has even more articulation with his hands and his arms. So I could go over about all the different poses you can put him in for this robot mode, but it would take forever. And you can take the crane here, make it back into the cannon. If you want, you can extend these forward. I really don't want to, but and put them in this peg here, or this hole here, to kind of give him the appearance of the giant gun arm that he has in Generation 1. But I think that really kind of takes away from the overall appearance of the toy, because he looks way more sinister and menacing with his kind of insect-like claws here. And now instead of having the painted blue painted eyes for the robot mode head, he has the orb on his forehead is now his signature eye here, which is uses some pipe lighting, which once you do get a light behind it really does glow really brightly. Very quickly, I just want to do a comparison to Starscream again, but now you see that Shockwave is much taller than Starscream. He probably gained a good 1.5 to almost 2 inches, probably 1.5 inches, doing this. Now, with this figure's release, this is the best homage to the Shockwave character that we've ever had. It gives a more cartoony look, updated, but still, it is really fun. And this toy in itself is really, really detailed, and especially in the sections that I really want to expect it, such as on the face here, which is normally all black, but it does still gives him a bit of more of a robotic feel with the little lines going straight down and on his forehead here. He does have the little bit of the ant reindeer action going in here, but you could see it more if, like on the antlers here, there's a little bit of plastic added in just to make it more solid, which kind of takes away from the look of it, but still it's pretty accurate. I think they're a little bit longer in the cartoon show though. It has a great range of posability. It's in my opinion not the best figure from the anime line, but it is really close. It is probably within the top 3, with Ultra Magnus being the best, with Megatron, Leader Class Megatron being second, and this would probably be the 3rd best in the entire anime line so far anyway. It is, I can recommend this to any Transformer fan. If you're a G1 purist, you would love this toy. If you're a new fan with anime, you're going to not be disappointed with him at all. Highly recommend him. Get him as soon as you can, as one of the best figures from the anime line. Until next time, thank you for watching.